Today's video will be on Shuckle. It's a pretty decent Pokemon. I think it's very underused, but it has potential. But unfortunately, we'll look at his stats and we'll see why he's not awesome. In addition, I guess I could. I don't know. It's just a little bit of trivia, I suppose. It is also known as the mold Pokemon in the Pokédex. So, like, first of all, he does not even look like mold, and second of all, that is such a sucky name. He is one of our few dual type Pokemon that we have covered so far, but he does not have any double weaknesses or double resistances, which is kind of strange, I suppose. As for his weaknesses, he does have weaknesses to some common types, including, some common types that are water, rock, and steel. Some common moves are the Ever Burning Scald, Stone Miss, and Rock Slide, along with Flash Cannon and Iron Head. He does have two resistances, but they are very, very uncommon, with normal and poison being like nowhere. I mean, you will see the occasional boom burst on normal type Pokemon, but other than that, there's not much physically attacking or specially attacking moves that are of the normal type. Mostly just status, you know what I mean? Soft boiled, Chansey. You know what I'm talking about, right? As for his usage in PokeBattle and Showdown, Showdown's tier is BL2. I don't even remember what it stands for, sorry guys. But others than BL2 are Kyurem, Tornadus Incarnate, Frostlass, and Zoroark. Some, I guess, trivia about those four Pokemon is Zoroark is actually special. It's one of those special Pokemon in Black and White 2 and Black and White. I believe it's Black. I don't remember which one. It's been a while since I played them, and they're so similar. Kyurem and Tornadus Incarnate are both legendaries, and Frostlass is the boss in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Time, Darkness, and Sky. So, he's stuck with a bunch of great Pokemon. Honestly, I think those are all underrated. They should really be in the underused tier. But, yeah. Frostlass, I guess, should be in rarely used. But, I mean, I think maybe Frostlass is decent in BL2, but those are all the Pokemon in BL2, so, I don't know. Shuckle, I think he should go to underused. As for his PVV, I think his PVV does reflect the same as Showdown this time. With his PBV being 115, some others are Muck, Shiftry, Ampharos, Swellow, Absol, Drapion, Weezing, Cofagrigus, and Claydol. There are a whole ton of decent walls here. With, you got Muck, Claydol, Cofagrigus, Weezing, and you got a few sweepers like Absol and Swellow, Shiftry. Drapion is decent, and Ampharos is decent too, so this PVV, and they're all pretty decent. I mean, they're not great, but they're all decent. So I think this is really where Shuckle belongs. But, he's stuck with a bunch of legendaries. Like, what? As for his base stats, like I said, he's got a mind-blowing 20 HP. Like, whoa, you look at Blissey, you look at Shuckle, you're like, what? What? But his attack and his special attack and his speed are all very, very low, with his offenses being 10 and his speed being 5 base. So, surprisingly, or it's no surprise that his total is only 505, even with that 230 defense and special defense. I believe it is the record special defense holder in the entire Pokédex so far, and ties with Mega Aggron in defense, I believe. We'll look into that later in the trivia section. But, yeah. He's Great Wall, but his HP really brings him down. If only they gave him, like, attack like 1, speed like 1, special attack like 1. Maybe they could afford to give him some more HP, you know? I mean, he's only 505 total. Maybe Mega Shuckle? Maybe crossing fingers. Honestly, if it's Mega Shuckle comes, just watch Game Freak. 200 attack, 200 special attack, 200 speed, 230 defense, 230 special defense, 1 HP. Watch Game Freak. But, yeah, HP, maybe they should just, when the Mega Evolution comes, if it comes, then please, crossing fingers. Crossing fingers. 120 HP, guys. But yeah, because of his defenses, you can still hit him. And he would not care, honestly. As for his abilities, his first ability is Sturdy, and basically what Sturdy does is that if you're at full HP and full HP only, then you can survive any hit with 1 HP left. Basically, Focus Sash. As for its competitive overview, it's very impressive for, like, ensuring hazards as a lead, stuff like that, maybe, like, setting up, like, maybe a Shell Smash or something. It's very helpful. But I mean, look at his defenses. And his other abilities. You probably don't really need sturdy. Sorry, you probably don't really need sturdy. But I mean, most people run sturdy. I really don't know why. But I'm not a Shuckle expert, so don't ask me. But I would say I would not use sturdy. But I mean, a lot of people run sturdy, so don't ask me. As for his second ability, is gluttony, and basically what gluttony does is that you eat berries at 25% health instead of 50% health. As for its competitive overview, I really don't see anybody using gluttony. I mean, like, I don't think it matters really. I mean, Salac Berry. I mean, any sub-Salac sets is good for gluttony, but really, like berries like Salac. But honestly, most Pokemon that actually want to run that don't have gluttony, so there's not really much point. On like a different Pokemon like Garchomp, say, I think it could definitely be used, but yeah. As for its his hidden ability is actually called Contrary. And what the effect is that when you get a boost to one of your defenses or something, they turn into a minus. And then when you get a minus, then it turns into a boost. So this is a pretty cool ability, and this is the whole reason why Malamar is pretty good, because it does have access to superpower. And what superpower does is that it has a huge amount of damage output with the 120 base, and it also lowers your attack and your defense by one stage. And well, when you put in Contrary there, then it actually raises your attack and your defense. So you can not only take physical hits better, but you can also hit harder with physical attacks. So that's why Malamar is such a great Pokemon. Of course, we're not going to be using Superpower on Shuckle because honestly, it doesn't even get it. But I think it's a decent ability because, like, if somebody uses Crunch and you get that -1 defense, it's nice because it turns into a +1, and vice versa for Shadow Ball. So I think Contrary is very decent, and certain sets that I'm going to run on these, like, I'll explain them later, but they actually can abuse Contrary. So here's some random Pokedex stuff. It is in the egg group of Bug. Its gender ratio is 50-50, and it was introduced in Generation 2, which not a lot of people know. Most people think it was introduced in Hoenn, since most people actually do not notice. I don't know. Most people don't really notice this guy. But its Pokédex entry, which is the whole reason for this picture there, is its Pokédex entry in Y, and of course some earlier versions. It stores berries inside its shell. To avoid attacks, it hides beneath rocks and stays completely still. So that's why you can sometimes find it holding berry juice, I think. Not 100% sure on that, but I think you can. And it is a rock. So the only place you could get it in X and Y is... So sorry guys, but I accidentally didn't put the correct location, since if you saw it was evolution, but Shuckle does not evolve. So changed it, edited it. Now its location is Route 18, Terminus Cave, Victory Road through Rock Smash. By the way, I actually have never gotten a Shuckle through Rock Smash, or from the Rock Friend Safari. So yeah. So here is the basic set that's on Showdown, Pokédex, and Smogon. I'm not even sure. I think it's like it's Smogon's website. It's Smogon's Pokédex, but this is the main set that they use. As you know, Smogon is basically Showdown. They're like affiliated. Smogon created Showdown or whatever. I don't even know. But here is the sets that most people run on that simulator, and the one that's in the Pokédex. It can be used in almost any tier, which is pretty surprising, but then again, look at its defenses. Most people will run Mental Herb, which cures you of Taunt, or Leftovers, which will heal you every turn, so that's just up to you. They do say Sturdy, but I would go with Contrary, just for that Crunch or Shadow Ball chance. As for its EVs, you got him almost maxed out his HP, because he will take damage from Stealth Rocks. You want to make it odd, just to be able to take more attacks later. You want to either max out defense, or you want to max out special defense. So yeah, that's what the parentheses mean. So because you could be special defense or defense. So yeah. Whether you want a physical Shuckle or a special Shuckle, it's all your choice. As for its IVs, you want to run 0 attack, so Foul Play does not do as much, since you won't really be dealing damage here. If you want, you can run 31 attack if you want to run Infestation, knock off a Rock Tomb. But honestly, they don't really inflict that much damage. Infestation is a set amount of damage, and honestly, the first the first time you use it, it's not going to do much damage anyways. Knockoff, I suppose you could run 31 attack for it if you really want. Foul play is going to do more, but I don't think it matters. Its attack is 10, but that's up to you. Rock Tomb is definitely not going to do that much. It does get stabbed though, so, you know, if you want to run 31 attack for that, that's okay. But, yeah, this set is basically going to be running hazards. That's the whole point. Now, if you're going to be running the set from Showdown, then you probably do not really care about Generation 5 transfers. So one move is Stealth Rock, and you also do need to breed Knockoff with Gliscor. So if you are going to be running it on a simulator, that's going to be very helpful. But unfortunately, if you do not have a Generation 5 transfer or ability to get it through Generation 5, or you just can't breed in Generation 5, honestly, you probably cannot use Shuckle, just because Stealth Rock is basically on every single set. Almost every single set. And I believe I have a set here without Stealth Rock, but I'm not even sure if you could get it without transfer. But basically what the set does is, 1, which I already mentioned, is hazards, and 2, being very annoying. So as I said before, if you want to do a defensive set or a special defensive set, you either run bold or calm, depending on whatever you want. Sticky Web is one of the main things. Many Pokemon can abuse it. Like Chandelier, it only has 80 something base speed, I think. But after Sticky Web, then it could start outspeeding a lot more stuff. So Sticky Web is a huge thing that's definitely good, and it can help your team survive in the very last stand, just by outspeeding their last Pokemon with your last Pokemon or something like that. Stealth Rock is great. Sticky Web plus Stealth Rock combo is awesome, because Sticky Web hits those that are not flying, and Stealth Rock does super effective damage to those who are flying. So that's a great set, a combo, I guess. You'll also see that on many Smeargles, actually. Encore is very annoying. It traps them into a move, such as, let's say, Rapid Spin, or Defog or something like that. So while it does that, then you can, and they might switch. Then you could spam out the Sticky Web and Stealth Rock, or if they don't switch, you could go ahead and go with Infestation, Knockoff, Toxic, stuff like that. So those are pretty decent alternatives. But yeah, honestly, if you don't really want to run Encore, you could definitely run one of those 4 on that last slot there. That's totally fine. It's just, if you think you can abuse Encore, then definitely go with it. Like, you could trap somebody into Dragon Dancing. Of course, once they get out of Encore, which Encore is only 3 turns, so then you're dead. Just gonna say that. But Infestation is there to trap them. Let's say they can't do anything to you. Well, then you could trap them there while you send in a counter to them. So it's almost like Gengar Shadow Tag. You know, Mega Gengar Shadow Tag. No, otherwise, pretty much banned from Ubers. But, Knockoff is very annoying for, like, hitting Chansey, you know, leftovers Pokemon like Alomomola, or however you pronounce that, which is really nice. Could get Knockoff Life Orb. You know, it's just really great. Especially if you have Encore, sorry. If you have Encore, you can trap them, then knock off the item of the next Pokemon. Now, Toxic is very helpful for dealing with those walls. And Rock Tomb also hits those flying types, and it's basically in Ubers where you basically can't do anything, pretty much. Because, you know, Infestation is not really going to work, especially against, like, one of those really good sweepers. But honestly, Rock Tomb is pretty much for Ubers. But honestly, I think it works on anything, so it is on the Uber set. Some other options, as I already went over, those are the other options where you can go either defensive or specially defensive, and then you have a choice in the move slot. And then some threats are Taunt and Sleep. Now, Sleep is actually it's a huge threat. So if you have, like, Vital Spirit, like Magmortar or something, then you could definitely run, have a good switch in there. Taunt is very, you know, annoying, so Mental Herb helps. Standard hazard stuff is basically if they have a Magic Bounce Pokemon, you want to eliminate that guy first. If they have a Spinner, you don't want to sack your Shuckle or Defogger. If they have a flying type or some sort of or something, or if they have Pokemon that are hurt by Sticky Web, Then, like, such as Garchomp, then you want to send out Sticky Web, and if they have flying types and 4 times weaknesses like Volcarona, then Stealth Rock is the first priority. And Encore is also a threat, even though you do have it. Encore is a threat which traps you into one move, which could be really, really bad, especially if it's like Infestation or something while they like lay hazards or something. Or if you're stuck with Knockoff and you're not doing any damage. That's just some threats. As for Pokebattles, set that they have on their Pokédex, it's basically the same thing, except it's more focused on walling and not so much, being annoying. Although it's more stall, I guess, since on Pokebattle, I mean, stall, I suppose, is more appreciated just because everything is very cheap. All stall Pokemon are pretty cheap considering how good they can be. And you could really rack up a whole bunch of Pokemon. Like, I tried making a Hyper Offense set this morning, or today. Well, it was, the PBV values went through the roof. Like, I was getting like 12,000, or 1,200, sorry. But, is it even 1,200? Yeah, 1,200. Yeah, 1,200. So, yeah, it was really ridiculous. So, Pokeball, unfortunately, does allow a lot of stall. So, that's why their set is a bit more stallish. So, again, it's same Gen 5 transfer and breeding stuff, Stealth Rock and Knockoff, It's basically the same set, although Pokeball does have more red card users. And what red card is that when you get hit by a physical contact move, then they get switched out. So that helps a lot, actually, when you do, that helps a lot when you're doing, like somebody setting up on you and they're at, like, +6 defense, +6 attack, and they hit you, then they're out, and that +6 does not matter. However, Mental Orb is very good for that taunt that I mentioned earlier, and Leftovers is great for this walling, stalling set. So all 3 items are pretty great choices, and then the same ability. And also, I saw an EV list on that set that they had, and it was 248 HP, 60. Actually, it was 252 HP, 68 defense, and 188 special defense. So, but I went ahead and took out to make it easier for Stealth Rock damage. So you can place the extra 4 wherever you want, really. Either defense or special defense is your choice. Same thing. IV's 0 attack. And then, because, foul play is a lot more common on Pokebattle, I think, but I'm not 100% sure as, I don't play Showdown that often. But, same Sticky Web, same Stealth Rock, and then you got Knockoff and Toxic. Yeah, just because this set's more of a wall, and that set's more hazard, so that's just it. I already mentioned item, and then threats, same threats. So, if you remember what I said last time, or you can go back. But in my opinion, Encore is also viable on this set. If you know how to use Encore very well, then you can definitely try Encore it's a very viable. Now here is where I start getting into my own sets. I did see a variation of this where you do Shell Smash, Infestation, Toxic, through various sets. They all have slight variations, but I think this is an interesting, I won't say great, but it's interesting because basically what you do is it's a walling gimmick set. It was actually very annoying for me because I had to like sack multiple Pokemon before I was able to beat this guy. But basically what you do is you start out and you run Infestation. You hit a Pokemon that you need to trap. Okay, one that cannot do much to you. Or even if you have like another hazard user like Smeargle, keep it alive, trap their spinner while they use Rapid Spin using Infestation, and you start spamming Shell Smash. Because what Shell Smash does is, remember, you have Contrary. So, after Contrary, it raises your defense and special defense by 1 stage, and it lowers your attack, special attack, and speed by 2 stages. So, not only does that help you with foul play, which is great, but it also raises your defenses. So, then you can, after you spam enough Shell Smashes, then you can go ahead and go with the Toxic, or you can start off with Toxic if you think you can handle them without Shell Smashes. Start off with Toxic, and basically you could completely wall their set. Just know that Steel types, you'll have trouble with, and they're also super effective. So yeah, just watch out for that. Sandstorm, Rest, or Protect is your last slot. I should have added Moveset as well, but honestly, I'm thinking of just getting rid of other options. But, yeah, so Sandstorm, Rest, or Protect. Now, you have a choice here. So Sandstorm will actually just, raise your damage output every single turn. to, of course, non-ground, steel, and rock types. And rest is your only form of recovery. So if you think that leftovers is not enough, or if you're afraid they have knockoff, which is really common, then you could definitely go with rest, just in case. Or if you're afraid of crits or something, and the protect is okay. It's actually great for toxic stalling as much. So yeah, its EVs are basically the same, and yeah. Now the good thing about this set is that you do not need any pre-evolution, no transfer, no nothing, no breeding, no nothing. So yeah, that's really great. And of course the same threats. Um, but the same stuff for hazards is that you cannot use toxic, on magic bounce Pokemon. So, and you also don't want to use infestation on Pokemon. If you predict a switch, you don't want to trap somebody that can actually kill you. So that's just I just put it as hazard stuff, but it's technically just standard stuff. So yeah. Also, Encore will really kill the set unless you're Shell Smash. Honestly, Infestation and Toxic, I would say that the worst thing to be trapped into is Rest. Or Protect. Or even Sandstorm. Yeah, the last slot you don't want to get trapped into. Shell Smash is decent to get trapped into, but Infestation Infestation and Toxic are okay. I mean, yeah, as long as they're trapped, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, and I also have one last Toxic Stall set. OX is actually, on all the poisonous stuff they have that like crossbones thing. That's what I thought about OX. But Shuckle, yeah. So that's my last set, I suppose. Same EV, same ability, and leftovers for toxic stalling. And it's basically my thoughts for this was with 230 bulk in both spectrums, why not? So it's basically just a toxic stall set, and you do need knockoff for breeding if you decide to use knockoff. You don't have to, of course. And you want to run Bold Nature if you want. I think you could run Calm if you really wanted for special defense, but I forgot to mention this for the other sets. But the reason why you only put 68 in defense is because the Bold Nature makes up for it. So yeah. As for its moves, you basically have to have Toxic since it's Toxic Stall. You gotta watch out for Steel types, of course. They will wall this set. And Protect is there for Toxic Stalling, and Knockoff is there in case you want to get rid of like their leftovers recovery or something, but it does not really matter. Also, I did not actually put this in, but Infestation is pretty cool. So yeah, I just edited it in right now. And so yeah, Infestation is great in case you want to trap them into Toxic. So yeah. Also Rest. You need a Rest for recovery, as you will not have Shell Smash this time to save you. And then you can either run Sleep Talk to allow you to keep protecting or knockoffing or Infestation or whatever you want while you're sleeping. And then of course Substitute is decent. I think Substitute is viable in either the second move slot or the fourth move slot actually. And Infestation is also in the fourth move slot. So yeah. Basically your moves is your choice, and then some threats are Encore and of course Hazards, which will take off a chunk of your HP before you even start Toxic Stalling. So that's a problem. So for trivia and origin, it has the most extreme stat distribution in the entire Pokedex. Also, it ties with Mega Aggron for the highest defense, and it also has the lowest offenses of all of the bug types. After a power trick, it has the highest base attack out of everything, which is where this comic comes in. It is also tied with Munchlax for the lowest speed, and then Phoebus and Bonsly for the lowest special attack. It is also weak to water and can't use Surf. However, it still appears in the sea section in Pal Park. So that's about it today. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Shuckle video. I had to do a lot of editing. I must be tired. But, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, and please like. See ya later.